Hi, my name is Esther Malka Herbst. Welcome to my channel. Got a lot going on here. About to break it down for you. The first most important thing to know is that today the objective is to create 5 pieces of art from start to finish for Rafi, who is releasing sample packs for musicians to use. I'm creating the cover art for every one of them. I'm gonna quickly review the video. I'll let you see it as well. As I review the video, I'm gonna be looking for references based on what we're talking about. With my notebooks and pencils, I'm gonna create little thumbnails.
So basically, I need 5 pieces of art. There's 5 kits. One of them is called Vintage Dream, and it's basically comprised of like vintage synth, super dreamy, super trippy, like slow, laid back synthwave style. Like when I was studying in school, I'd like put on like synthwave background music. So for that, the visual I was thinking of is like a bedroom with a 90s synth, and I'll send you pictures of all these things, like a keyboard, sort of like on the floor with like sunset through the windows.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking of like a pink looking sky, almost like a purple pink looking sky.
We don't have that.
We don't have those colors, but like that's like the vibe.
Okay, yeah. Cozy, dreamy sunlight.
Cozy, dreamy sunlight. Whatever you could create like using that.
The colors
right?
that we have. Yeah.
So that's one of them. And the next one is called Pop. For that, I was thinking of like the back of a girl's head with headphones.
Amazing.
And like for the background, I don't care what it is. Like
On
you could do like, that would be sick.
Yes.
If you could make that, that would be awesome. Like I don't know how you'd capture it or frame it up, but like whatever, I trust you'll find a way.
I don't even know how. I'm gonna figure it out.
The next one is called Indie. For that, what I was seeing was like almost like a drone shot of like a car on like a lonely road, like in the evening, a little bit after sunset.
Got it.
Kind of like where we are now, kind of like a countryside road.
What kind of music is it? Is it like rainy day vibes?
Yes, but add a little bit of like worship. Only acoustic instruments, like the low male voice, you know, soft, gentle finger picking. You know, like when like it's still the evening, it's not night yet, but you can still see the moon, kind of like while there's sunset happening, you can see the moon.
Yeah.
I was imagining the moon somehow in the art.
Okay.
Even though it's not fully night yet. Like the sky should just be like a mush of yummy colors.
Okay, you do want like sunset.
Kind of like ish, like late sunset. Like kind of night outside. Like
sunset. Yeah.
If you look that way, it's black, and if you look that way, it's pink. You know what I mean?
We'll see what I can do.
Whatever you could do, I totally trust your judgment. Then there's obviously the Latin kit, which I was imagining a percussion. I'll give you a picture like a conga or like a dole or a bongo. That's sort of like in this room, and you could really decorate the room however you wanted. Originally, I had this vision to include this like dress.
Does it have to be in a room?
It doesn't exactly have to be in a room.
Can it just be floating in space?
It could be kind of floating in space, but like there's a certain kind of carpet I really wanted it to be on.
Oh, okay.
There's like a kind of like Spanish carpet that I think is like important to the visual. If you could create something like that, that could be cool. Also, I don't care if you do it abstractly. It doesn't need to make actual sense. Like it doesn't need to be like a percussion in a room. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the open for interpretation is 100%. Like,
okay.
I don't really care. And then lastly, there's a disco kit. It's like disco funk. This is the one where I'm like least sure
of the visual.
All I could say is 70s.
Okay, tell me more about the music then.
The music's a lot of like super like fun, funky bass lines. Think Dua Lipa, think like roller skating, think like tracksuit, think sunglasses, think disco ball. Maybe you can make this piece that's sort of like not a realistic one thing in a room, but a disco ball and like roller skates and like a bass.
I want one piece where it's kind of like just the image and then the background, kind of like how I have my screaming face one.
Yeah, like a cluster of stuff and things. Yeah, I'm with you on that. What I want to do is sketch all of them first and then paint all of them. I want to keep them kind of looking and feeling the same. Although I'm gonna have limited palette, which will already make it seem cohesive, I think that doing it in the same day for some reason is gonna have me kind of like painting in the same style. And the reason I'm prepping more than 5 is so sometimes when I'm making art, especially that isn't for me, there's a little bit more pressure. It's kind of like, oh, you know, I need this person to like it. When I'm making art for myself, like no one has to like it. It doesn't matter. But when I'm making art for someone else, like they actually do have to like it and I have to like it. Well, actually, I don't have to like it. I want to like it. I have to be proud of it to some extent. I don't know, maybe that's not true. I guess it depends on how much I have control over it. Either way, I want to prep more than 5 just so that there's room for error and I'm not gonna feel like, oh, like now I have to prep a whole new paper. If I make a mistake,
It's fine. Just take another sheet. Phase 3 is to sketch everything on here before we get into painting it. I decided I wanted to sketch everything and have it be really flowy, really fluid. The only things I was gonna mark out was like spacing so that it's centered well in the page and the layout is good. Otherwise, we're just winging it. With this face, you can tell I'm just winging it. I kind of very often feel like I don't know how to sketch. I'm just making it up as I go. And then I realized that I feel the same way about painting, and at some point it just makes sense. Maybe just like practicing it often enough. Like I'm not great at sketching. It's probably one of my weakest points, and I should probably do it a lot more. It's funny to see things in hindsight. Oh yeah, and then also obviously always check to make sure it's not wonky, because sometimes when I'm sketching from like an angle that I'm drawing at, it looks fine, and then I pick it up and look at it straightforward and I'm like, oh wait, what is that? How did that happen? How is that stretched or shortened like that? Yeah, and I kind of had that with the wheels on this bus over here. I couldn't figure out like which direction I had to go in to make sense and to look normal, but you know, it's a part of the process. So with sketching, I usually try and break down the shapes that I see and kind of detach from what the object is and what it's supposed to be. Oops, not my hair being in the video. Because it helps me to like see what actually is there. We're human. Our brains make up things that are not there. Oh, these little ice skates are cute. I'm excited for that. This is actually a great example of something that looks really, really weird when you're sketching it, and like you just have to trust that the shapes that you're seeing are actually the shapes that are there, because that initial shape for the shoe of this ice skate looks crazy. The thing is that when you keep on breaking down the shapes, you break them down again and again and again, and then all of a sudden it starts to make sense. All of a sudden it starts to look like the thing that you actually thought it would look like. And sometimes even in the sketching phase, it doesn't look like the thing you thought it would look like. Sometimes it takes painting a couple of layers for it to actually look like what it's supposed to. Sometimes it needs the shading and it needs dimension. Oh, and this one was the one painting that I actually took the time to measure everything, to measure the distances. I went a little mathematical on this one. I kind of felt like I was channeling, I don't know if you've seen the Odd One Out painting, but I kind of felt like I was channeling that with the Odd One Out painting. I like measured every centimeter and made sure that they were equally spaced and made like molds and cut out the munchies just so that they're all even and equal. I went crazy with that one. What should I start with? Maybe this one, as it's the simplest. Good, easy place to start. I think I started with this one for everything, actually. We have a beautiful palette with colors that range in value from dark to light, and I'm setting up my palette in this way so that it's easy to go to when I'm going for a value. I know exactly which is darker than which. Rafi, you asked me how I blended the sky, so now's your time to look. Look and watch carefully. Yeah, and obviously I had to tape down the paper to the table so that it stays in one place and it doesn't curl up with the water. The one very rare instance where I actually mixed up a color, because I wanted all the palettes to kind of have the same colors in them. In this case, the last mountain in the background, I wanted it to be not as intense as the green mountain in front of it, but also I couldn't make it a value lighter because the value lighter would have been the orange, which is the part where it meets the sky, so it would just blend into the sky. What I did is I mixed in a drop of white so that there's like a difference between that one and the mountain in front of it. I used that color. I first painted the moon in white, but I ended up going over it in green. Look, a car magically appeared. No, I painted it, but I had to cut it out because my hair was in the way for all of it and you couldn't see anything anyway. But I went over the moon in yellow after because the white just wasn't sitting right with me, and I ended up really liking how it gave it a glow, and I ended up incorporating it afterwards into my painting. You'll see later everything that was in its path, I ended up giving it like a little shine in the end when I was going in with the details. But we're starting off with the grass for details. I left some spaces to like incorporate other colors. I really wanted the grass to be like colorful, have all of the colors included. I added some color to the lighter parts where the glow of the moon would hit the mountains, and then I added some depth into the sides of the road and some color into the grass. Also, you can see afterwards how I go in with lighter colors and just glow up all the areas that the moon would be shining on. And I feel like I gave it a really nice effect. All right, we're onto the pop one. So I started by just covering the entire background in green. In this light green, I watered it down very much too. And then I realized that the bottom of it needed orange. I really didn't want it to be like an opaque orange, but for some reason the orange was so opaque, even like with a lot of water in it. It is what it is. I was kind of just sectioning out like what colors I want specific areas to be and what value I wanted them to have. So like I wanted the skin to be darker than the walls. I wanted it to be significantly darker. I wanted the walls to be really light so that everything else has contrast. In my reference, the headphones are a little darker than this value, but I decided to make it lighter anyway because I didn't want it to blend into the hair. I wanted you to be able to see a difference. Obviously color is the easiest way to do that. So I made it a little lighter. Took a little little bit of freedom there. I painted so many layers of yellow on top of this window to make it look lighter, but the yellow is just a little bit too see-through. And the orange is so opaque. It's so annoying to work with. I covered up all of my sketch and I had such a good sketch under there. The overalls were so cute. You know, it is what it is. If I was able to sketch it, I'm able to paint it over it again. I really like that little contrast of the yellow to the orange. It looks nice. I should have incorporated it more into my other paintings. Hindsight is 2020, they say. I was just trying to cover area, place a color on there that best fits the overall value, and then later go in with all of the details. By the way, looking at this in hindsight as well, like we said, hindsight is 2020, while I was painting it, I really felt like I was putting just layers of yellow on top of the green and you weren't able to see a difference. Now I can see that you were able to see a difference, but to my eye at the time, I wasn't able to see it. I started going in with my shadows on the green skin, and I really love the way the green and the light green and the blue work as skin tones. The light green gives it such a beautiful glow, and I love the way it takes form with these colors. It really looks nice and plump. The leg is also chef's kiss. Just with the blue, okay, fine, but with the yellow, it looks so nice. I added some green to like define the creases and the curves in the overalls, and it takes time until you can start to see what it actually is, but once you start to see it, it's there. You can see that it's overalls. And again, the highlight, it just looks so glowy and so nice. Oh, a little nose highlight. We're adding some makeup. What? Okay. Crazy. I'm amazed at color theory every single time I see it. Look at how this yellow looks like a highlight on the orange and on the green, but then when it comes to putting the green on the yellow shirt, look at how this yellow green is like a highlight on the orange and on the green, on the darker green, but then when you put it over the yellow shirt, it's like a shadow. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's not so crazy, but like, it's so cool. It's so fascinating how that works. And it's right near the other like light green. And then we get to pale it. Paling is always the funnest part. Look, clean, smooth lines. We love it. I have a slight issue. Mostly that I was a little delusional for thinking that I can do this all today. Heavily underestimated how long each one of these will take. I only finished 2 of them and it's already 8 o'clock. I don't think I can finish another 3 tonight. I think I'm gonna try and work on 1 tonight, at least start it. Whatever I get, whatever I don't. And Pop is the one we're working with. The same way we started all of the other ones, we just put down a foundation of color, whatever the main color of it is going to be. For the skates, it was green. For the wheels, it was this green as well. When it comes to this disco ball, each one of these little squares get its own color. I kind of distributed the colors in areas so that the edges were all light and the centers, there were more condensed darker areas with spaces for light in between, just so that there's, you know, enough color all around, but then also the edges I wanted to be lighter so that there can be a dark background because the skates are also pretty light. And I was really working it in color by color, so whenever I was adding the dark green to the ball, I was adding the dark greens to the skates, and the same thing with the oranges. Also, when I was putting in the squares for the disco ball, I was making sure not to go completely till the edge. So there's like little tiny gaps of white space of like basically the paper in between each of them, so that you can kind of see when there's 2 colors that are right near each other, it's still 2 separate squares, and it kind of gets like the grout look from in between. The bows of like the laces on these skates are so cute. Finally adding dimension to the wheels by using darker colors. We know how this works at this point, and putting a background. So I put the entire background to be blue. I first made sure to get like 1 layer under, and then I was gonna put like a 2nd layer on top so that it's like more even toned, even though it's not perfect. And then something crazy happened. Just watch. I'm gonna let you see it for yourself. I can't believe my mic wasn't plugged in for that. I'm not sure how to continue, if I should just continue outlining this or leave it how it is. I don't know if I'm gonna even be able to keep this. I think I might need to show this one to Rafi. Kind of looks so cool too. It's the most natural spill I've ever seen. This is such a pretty gold too, like what? I hope the camera's picking this up. against these nails. There's a reason this is my favorite. Whoa. Oh, that's so pretty. What a wild spill. I think that's it for me today. If Rafi calls, I'll try and get it on camera. Should I tell you which one it was, or should I show you?
I'm excited to see, actually. Let me see something.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Hold on a second. I don't know if you can see it or not.
I smell that. It's fucking awesome. Okay, first of all, the colors came together so nice.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you managed to get a solid blue background in gouaches, because the gold splatter kind of looks like Brazil.
Yeah? It kind of
looks like it looks like a country.
It does look like a country. It does look like a country.
I don't quite know which country it looks like. Actually, it looks more like Argentina than Brazil.
It looks cool though, right?
I'm not against it. I think it's good to go.
I don't think I hate it. It's not a solid blue background.
It's not 100% solid. It's like a nice layer.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I will have to show you the video.
Oh, you have it on video.
Of course. Yeah, the question is if now I'm going to have to add a lot of gold into all of the other ones. I'm not against that. I kind of love gold.
You do your like traditional outlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave it up to you, and that looks amazing. Now I want to see the other ones.
You have to wait.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to wait for the grand reveal. Yeah, I'm very excited to see them all.
Yeah. All right. We have a nice little peel, nice little satisfying peel. And look at that oil stain on the back from the gold marker. I don't know if you understand how much gold spilled. It was wild. On to Indie Anthems, I believe. This one was, first of all, look at that palette. It's such a pretty palette. This one was one of the ones I actually spent the most time on. I think it just had the most detail, and it was also probably one of the harder ones for me in terms of like figuring out what color goes where. There was also a lot of stuff that held a lot of color, and there's also just a lot of stuff in this image. I only had 5 colors to work with. It was hard to try and give all of it its own space while still looking good against each other, if that makes sense. With the sky, I started with the yellow first because I knew how opaque the orange was, and I knew there was no way once I put the orange down that I would be able to get some of the light through. It worked differently than I normally would, and I put the lighter color down first, even though the orange took up most of the space. And once again, you can say it with me, we're just putting down the base colors for everything. Filling in that little mountain with a blue because it's dark. I was able to add some dimension later because I used such a watered down blue that when I put a less watered down blue, it was actually darker. I tried to do the same thing for the red. It didn't really work as well. I put a drop of green into it and then it like worked, but still was mostly red or like orange, whatever color that is. And I added some color into everything. It's 12:30. I think I'm done for tonight. I'm in the middle of my 4th one, which means I can technically still finish it before Sunday if I work on Saturday night. I thought I was gonna have to push through and like pull an all-nighter. Then I realized that these were taped individually as well as taped to the table. So I can hit pause and revisit this later. And I'm very excited to learn that. I just want to sleep. It's been fun. I've learned a lot throughout this process, and you know, I still can't believe that pen spilled. My fingers are still dirty. How crazy. I kind of like it. Colors are doing its thing. The green is a little bit lighter than the bottle. I'm working with it as it is. I'm happy to know that we're more than halfway through. Well, more than halfway through, actually. This is what we got going on so far for this one. Isn't she cute? I'm kidding, you saw. I added some color into the water. I added some color into the waves. I added some color into the grass. You'll see that later. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, this is a different night. I used black masking tape because I was all out of my washi tape. That was kind of sad for me. Anyway, we're still at the stage where we have to cover the blank canvas. How did that happen? Why did I leave that empty? I don't know. I guess we'll never know because I still don't know. In the waves, I needed like a lighter color, so I mixed some white into the yellow, and it was actually perfect because the green and the yellow ended up being a lot closer in value because the light green was a lot lighter than it seemed like on the package. So that ended up being very similar in value and was hard to use against each other as like a highlight. But once I added white, it all worked out well. When I first started putting color onto the pillows and adding like dimension, I thought it looked kind of weird. prepared. Surprise, at the end of the day, I actually think it looks nice. Also, like on the bus, it just looks dirty because you don't have like the highlights and the wire going through it. But at the end of the day, it does look like these little lights on strings. Oh, and finally we're adding color into the grass. See, I told you. I told you we were gonna add color into the grass. I think when I'm working with colorful paintings, I really enjoy putting color into things that would just be more bland otherwise. And beautiful tape hole, as always. All right, ready for the last one? I was definitely not when I started it, but I didn't really have a choice. I knew that worst case scenario, I can always just start again. So I started with a drum, putting the most watered down orange coat as I can possibly think of, because I know how pigmented the orange is, and I really wanted to still be able to see my marks under. And I ended up being able to do that. I was very pleased with that. I put a darker coat of orange on the center of the diamond, and then also on the edges of like the outside perimeter of the carpet. We're adding some dimension into the drum to make it feel like it has form and shape before we add the blue section of the carpet, which is most of the carpet, leaving a little line of separation or difference between the outline of orange. So there's like the dark orange, a drop of lighter orange, and then the blue carpet. Once the base of this carpet was down, we were able to start going in with the designs. First, I sectioned out the diagonals against the blue part and little squares all around against the orange part. Creating the patterns was super repetitive, ended up being such a meditative process. I really enjoyed it. It was reaching for the creative side, coming up with different patterns. Also, it had this element of just repeating the same thing over and over, and it looking good just by the fact of it being repetition. I would definitely do this again, and it's wild to think that I was so unprepared, really unconfident about this one to begin with. I ended up spreading it out over the duration of that night, and then again the next morning right before I showed it to Rafi. I was very excited to get his reaction too. Over the next little bit, I'm going to play a little demo of Rafi's Spanish Essential Kit as you're watching the video. Just know that soon in the video, later in the video, when I say, oh, I'm going to show you a demo, this is the demo you're getting, okay? 1 second.
These are for those audio tools I was telling you about.
What?
I'm making a product.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm launching a product.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you saw one of them?
I did see one of them. I heard about what happened.
Yeah.
There was a pen implosion.
Explosion, yeah.
Right?
So there's 4 that you haven't seen yet, and 1 that you haven't seen in person. I have them for you in the order that I made them.
Oh,
I'm kind of scared to show it to you.
What are the uncertain? Like, what is the
I
uncertainty?
don't know. No, I'm just gonna go straight for it. Okay. Do you remember?
I really like that one.
Do you know?
That's really good.
Do you know the name? Do you know the names?
Yes.
Okay, so which one is this one for?
This is for in the anthems.
Oh, okay.
This is for in the anthems. It's so beautiful. It really reminds me of like the vision that I had in my head.
Yeah.
When I was telling you, like, I want it to be a sunset, but with a moon in it.
Yeah.
And you were like, at first you were like, what?
Yeah,
Like, how could it be a drone shot with the sky? This is really, really nice. I don't know how you did this with gouaches. Anytime I've ever tried to make it, the single time I've tried to make a gradient with gouaches, it failed miserably. But
yeah, it took
I am going to rate this one 5 out of 5 stars.
Amazing.
You did a great job.
Thank you. It spilled a drop of water over here.
Okay. For a square, like, I guess that is the framing.
Yeah. So most of them, by the way, you asked me for space on the top. I don't know if you remember this.
I did.
You asked me for space
So
on
it
the
needs to
top.
be relatively dark.
Most of them have, they're not necessarily all very dark, but they can, I think you can all put, what?
I'm showing it.
I think you can put like white text over it, and if you need to, you can put like a little thin black outline.
Okay.
But they all are centered so that you can cut the top out.
Okay.
And then also you can put the words there.
Right. Very reasonable.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
The next one is pop.
And why did you do this one first?
I've been working with gouaches mainly to do plein air paintings. And while this isn't plein air, it is like scenic. I just felt the most comfortable with it.
Right. This looks like something you could have made already.
Yeah.
Right. True. Very, very exciting.
What do you think about the colors, by the way?
I'm very happy with the palette. It does match aesthetically with the visuals I made.
Yeah.
With my camera. And I like that you stuck to the palette. Like, this is the palette. I'm like, you made it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ready for pop?
I'm ready for the next one. By the way, I don't know. That's what I say. Like, I know, like with on like YouTube, there's like reactions, like yo man, bro, man. Like I don't have reactions. I'm just
You're doing
like,
great.
Okay,
You don't need to react.
Okay.
Any more than your natural reaction is, and also
natural.
like don't worry about how you're like being perceived. You can express all your thoughts you have.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Oh wow. Also very compelling. Let me take this one in. Wow. This also looks very Elster Malka-y.
Yeah?
Yeah. Honestly, more so than this one even. This looks like something you could have just made by yourself. It's cute to see how you worked with the palette. Also 5 out of 5 stars.
Amazing. Okay.
This one I've seen.
This one you saw.
This one I've seen, featuring the country of Brazil, the disco funk. Obviously, you did a great job. The pen explosion is a pen explosion.
Honestly, I think I really like it.
I think it's okay. Also, just like framing wise, like if it would have happened here.
Yeah.
It
So it happened in the best place possible. This one I had the hardest time placing it thumbnail wise. I did one arrangement and I was like, no, it doesn't work. In the second arrangement, I was thinking that like it kind of needs something over here. Like I was actually thinking that, and then it just happened like, literally in that spot. And then also like you can cut it like right here. Cut out some on the bottom. Like it's perfect.
Right. It's an act of God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
What does Bob Ross say? Happy accidents.
Happy accident. There's also 5. They're all secret. They're only 5 out of 5.
No.
But genuinely it's 5 out of 5. I quite like it. And
the next one was the one that I didn't know the name of because I wasn't sure which one was this one and which one was that one.
Probably Vintage Dreams that you mixed it up. Okay, great. Wow. Holy shit. Wow. That's really cool. I'm really loving the way you like. First of all, I don't know if it was intentional, but you kind of let each one have like a different color in the palette have like a central moment.
Yeah. Well, this one doesn't really have that.
Right. But
the next one doesn't either. Actually, but it's 2 colors.
This one's like really, really, really good.
Thank you.
I really love the way you worked with the palette to just somehow make it, because like the keys of a piano are white, but there is no white. So like, how are you gonna make it work? You know, and you did make it work. Was that interesting for you? Yeah. That process, because I mean, I know you did it with like your screen painting.
It's very similar to how I paint normally, but I've never used such vivid colors for all of them.
Right. We went crazy. Yeah. We went crazy on the palette.
Yeah. But it's okay. It ended up working like nicely.
Yeah. That's funny. Everyone, you sent me like a reference picture. Like, is this the kind of thing you're thinking? It's like, yeah, that's really cute actually. Yeah. With the vintage synth. This is something we call Vintage Dreams. And I guess for the crop on this one, like obviously I want the keys to be in it.
Right. So you could. That's what I'm saying. Like it's still you can. Oh, I see what you mean.
Okay. I'll play with it.
You can maybe crop the keys so that the keys are halfway.
A little bit in, right, and I have a little bit of red on top to put text over.
Can you tell that these are pillows and blanket or not?
Yeah. I could tell. I could tell this was pillows. I thought this was just like a picnic, like.
Yeah. I meant like something other.
It's like a clearing. Okay, also 5 out of 5.
Okay, amazing. Okay, the next one you probably did I tell you about this?
No.
The next one. When I started it, and like before I started, the reason I saved it for the last was because I did not have faith in myself. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. I also knew that it was so important to you. Like the Spanish one was like obviously
not
like
specifically, whatever.
No,
but I appreciate you. No, it's one of my favorite sound kits. I appreciate you tuning into that.
So I was like scared to do that one. I didn't want to like. I mean, I had extra pages. Like I was able to like mess it up if I needed to. Yeah, I guess I wasn't like super confident in how I was gonna do it. Like with the first one that I did, like I knew exactly how I was gonna do it. There wasn't like so much playing around. You know, with all of them, I had some sort of like idea of what I was gonna do. With that one, like I didn't really know. Like I built my reference, and beyond that, I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Exactly. Obviously, there's always that curve in painting. Like you know this, you've made art before. Like, there's always that curve in painting where it's like absolute shit.
It's like what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. It's also like you have to like build on top of things. So like the first layers are never gonna look good.
You have to have a lot of commitment and like faith.
Yeah, and in the beginning, like the whole beginning, I was like, I don't know. I thought I was gonna let you down with that one. I don't think I will at this point. It was very cool how at some point I was able to look at it and be like, wait, I actually like this. Like, it actually looks nice, and it's probably like one of my favorites now.
Okay, I'm very excited. Wow. Okay, yeah, it is my favorite. Oh my god, I love it. I fucking love it. I really like it a lot.
I love that, like, I gave you the reference of the carpet and I gave you the reference of the drum. And I was like, I really don't know how the hell she's gonna, like, do it. And you're like, I'm really, like, the carpet's too intricate. Like, I don't know about the details.
Yeah.
And I like that you came up with a way. Like, you used it as a background and then you made the drum in the middle.
Yeah, but also, like, this is not the carpet. It's definitely inspired by the carpet. I was referencing the carpet, but, like, in no way, like, I can put a side by side of my reference. And this, like, it's in no way the carpet, but it's definitely a reference to the carpet.
I could tell that you were, like, looking at the carpet.
Yes,
and,
100%.
Like, you really added the texture. And
yeah, and also I was like, every single carpet is gonna be different. Like, you don't need it to be exactly that carpet.
Jojo, take a look at this one.
You want a mic?
That's awesome.
The carpet texture is really beautiful.
I want that mural on my wall, honestly.
Like,
That's so sweet.
We're scanning it. You know what's funny? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a little story for you. For me, doing vibrant colors, and Joe knows this about me, like, very well. Vibrant colors has been not my way of going from, like, day one. In general, like, when I color graded my photography, I would go for very muted, dark brown, light purple, very, very muted. My graphic design was always extremely muted. I stuck with, like, teal and orange, muted. I was stuck with, like, very neutral, simple, like, muted tones. Obviously, I know Joe for a long time. Joe has this, like, ongoing war with me for the last, like, decade. Like, nothing is bright. Nothing is vibrant. Nothing has, like, pops of color. So Joe's probably, like, I guess, surprised to see that this was the palette that...
Yeah, Joe actually didn't see the palette. He just saw the sketches. Like, the day that I showed it to him, I just showed him the sketches. He didn't see the palette.
The sketches were great. I was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
I saw that one, the disco ball with the skates. Mm-hmm. I was like, ooh, this is going somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be so vivid and, like...
This one is very Joey, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I hope this music isn't copyrighted.
I was thinking about it. Maybe that's...
Nah. I would love to look at all of them.
That's honestly my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I love patterns. I love, like, it's so...
This one is also my favorite one.
This one?
Yeah.
No way.
Let me see it.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like it sucks me in. Like,
Yeah. I get that.
Oh, that one I like.
I probably actually spent the most time on this one. Oh, no, maybe this one. These two I spent the most time on.
okay, I kind of wanna like lay them out and like, because this is what it's gonna look like on the website, actually.
Yeah.
There is a cohesion among them. That was honestly one of the main things I was like hoping for, and I knew I had like faith in you because you're using the same medium and the same palette. But I actually really like how much they each have their own sort of like flavor, but there is a cohesion among them.
I really like the Spanish one.
Same. Do you think somebody looked at it would like know that it's like kind of one art piece? Like an album has like multiple songs, but it's like one album. Does that make sense? And like I feel like that's kind of what this is also.
Right, like an album for art. It's kind of cool. It's a cool project.
I think you'd call it a series, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
artists would call it.
Yeah.
A series. Okay, let's go to Staples.
Get them scanned.
I just wanna get it on the website. Like
Yeah.
I just wanna go live. Yeah, they're very vibrant. Honestly, it's hard to look away. No, thank you so much, Mr. Malco. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I kind of really want to put my name on it.
Okay. How about we scan them first?
Yeah. You know what the drum is giving? Maybe I shouldn't say it. You're gonna see it.
What is the drum
It's
giving?
giving. You know those like watermelon bubble gums?
Now I'm craving one of them.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like watermelon bubblegum. This is the one that I have.
Oh no way.
This is actually the one that I used to record.
You could have given me a reference of this.
This is the one I used in the sound kits.
That's crazy. No, that one does look nice.
Now you could see them. They look so good on the video.
Yeah?
They look very cohesive.
Yay.
That's cute. And then look at the camera. Yeah, that is cute.
Oh.
It's perfect. No, you got it.
Could you come here? Mm-hmm. Do you want to rate them?
No.
Please?
Okay, I could put them in order
Yeah.
of my favorite.
That's exactly what I'm asking for.
My number one is probably this one.
Okay, obviously. That one I know.
Then this one.
Okay.
Then this one. And these were kind of equal to me.
Yeah?
Yeah, so it'd be like these two together, and then this. That would be the order I give them.
Nice.
How do you rate them?
I think I would rate them with Spanish being number 1. I think this one is number 2.
By the way, just so you know, this is technically an African drum. I don't saw anybody in the comments saying there's some kind of appropriation. We all know that this is technically an African
I don't know
originating drum. It's used quite a lot in Latin music, and I had a really good musician from Argentina who actually performed all of it in the back.
From these, I feel like for me it would be between these two. I know that I spent a lot more time on this one. That makes me want to say this one. I don't really know. I think it would be maybe this one. Okay. Slightly more than this one. And then this one's my least favorite.
Why?
I think my favorite part about this is her overalls.
Her overalls are great.
Her overalls are so cute. Maybe it was because I had such a different vision for it. Like this one was the one that I had like clearest vision on what I wanted to do and wasn't able to find good references.
So you were in a position to be disappointed.
Basically, yeah. I had the highest expectations for it. It's not what I thought it would be. It's not giving the vibes I thought it would. It kind of is giving the vibes you asked for though. So like
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it just when you first said it, I had like picture like an entire painting. If I would have the time to go and like take my own reference pictures, I know exactly how I would set it up, from what angle, what like the hairstyle that I want the girl to be wearing. I know I was thinking like buns, kind of to like enhance the headphones vibe, and like just like ginormify the headphones. Have it from like a back angle where she's like leaning her head on the window. Like it's just whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know exactly what I mean. So like
framing, sure.
Yeah, so it's not like that, and I think that's what makes it be like less on my ranking for me. Also, if I wouldn't have done the second, if I would have waited until I did all the other ones, I would have done more of like a blue or orange background instead of having the focus be the green.
I actually like though that there's one of them that uses that color more than the others.
Yeah.
Because it kind of breaks it up. We've been successful. How do you feel now that you're done? I know it was a parsha to get here.
Yeah.
Only from a trip to Blick to several days and months. Oh no.
Nights.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I see. Well, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome. I hope it goes well.
I still haven't thought about how I'm marketing this product.
First of all, in case you didn't know yet, Rafi's making sound kits.
I think they know by now.
Yeah, probably. Well, actually, tell them about it.
I'm launching a website filled with packets, and each packet is filled with resources for music producers. The resources come in the form of loops, one-shots, presets, basically organized sound kits that somebody can use in their production. I'm selling them right now at $19.99 for each kit, or you could get the Everything Bundle, which includes over 797 files and includes all 5 kits plus some additional sounds for the low price of $59.99.
Oh.
So yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. So yeah, it's gonna be live soon.
You're probably not a musician if you're saying this, but if you know a musician.
Right, if you know a musician, great sound kits with great art.
Here, look, I'm going to play a demo. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a thumbs up to let me know that you actually liked it. Tell me which one is your favorite piece and which part of the video you enjoyed most. Thank you for being here. Let's get this out. It's taking too long.